welcome to episode 21 of Some Like It Real. I'm Bryan.
And I'm Veronica.
And we're two cinephiles who love to talk movies.
We have weekly episodes discussing the newest films, creating lists and drafts, and keeping you updated on the latest movie headlines and awards races.
As a reminder, please like, rate, and subscribe on YouTube and your favorite podcast platforms, which helps more people find the show.
And share it with any cinephiles in your life.
We have a looser episode for you today. We know that there are so many movies out there, both in theaters and on streaming, so we want to catch you up on some 2026 movies that we haven't had a chance to cover on the show.
Yep, we want to give you a heads up about movies that haven't gotten a lot of love or attention, and hopefully you'll find something that you want to check out. Plus, what else are we going to do with our clever little letterboxd reviews?
They must be heard. They have to be heard, everybody. Now, we see a lot, but we can't see everything. So we'll start off with the films that only Veronica or I have seen, and then wrap it up with what we both watched.
Yes, and no spoilers in this discussion, especially because we don't want to spoil it for each other.
Veronica, you've got a much longer list than me. I feel like I'm doing such a disservice as a film fan, fake cinephile over here. So do you want to kick us off?
I be going to the movies. That's one thing about me. Sure, I will kick us off. I have grouped a couple of them into this category of action comedies that all have sort of a similar vibe. So we'll kick it off with Ready or Not 2, Here I Come. It should have just been Ready or Not, Here I Come, but neither here nor there.
Or just Ready or Not 2. But
either one, yeah. So anyway, so this picks up pretty much right where the first Ready or Not left off. So moments after surviving that attack from the Ladomas family, Grace, that's Samara Weaving's character, she discovers she's reached the next level of the nightmarish game, and this time with her estranged sister, Faith, at her side. So this is a very, very similar to the first one. I feel like I didn't necessarily need a sequel. I enjoy the first Ready or Not very much, and it was, more of a surprise, which obviously we don't have that now. But, this it ups the ante in a lot of ways. It expands the cast, so we get to see a whole brand new set of people playing in this sandbox, and, it gets pretty brutal. It gets pretty, it's got those supernatural elements that were in the first one. Our boy from the pit, Sean Hattasey, is here. Elijah Wood is here. Catherine Newton is always a welcome addition. And she and Samara Weaving play off each other really well. So
isn't David Cronenberg also in this?
He is, yes. He has a small part.
Awesome.
And Sarah Michelle Gellar as well. Yeah, it's a cool cast. It's an established world at this point, so nothing all that surprising or revolutionary or anything. But a solid watch if you like the first one.
I'm sad that I didn't see this. I really liked the first one as well. This happened to come out the same weekend as Project Hail Mary, and if you guys remember, I was obsessed with Project Hail Mary. Still am obsessed to it now, but admittedly, I missed this one. I was never clamoring for a sequel for this, but I thought it looked pretty good from the trailers, and I'm glad to see that it was mildly well received, so I'll definitely give it a watch when I get around to it. I look forward to it, and I really like Samara Weaving.
Mm-hmm.
This is obviously not the only time Samara Weaving will come up today, fittingly enough, but I look forward to checking it out when I get around to it. I just don't know if a sequel to this was even needed, especially 7 years later. It's were people literally that hungry for a Ready or Not 2?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the directors did a whole, 2 Scream franchises and Abigail in between, and I'm happy that they decided to come back to this. Definitely fits their sensibilities and everything. So, I was happy to see it again, but it's always a little hard to capture the magic of the first one. That was such a surprise. And then a movie that came out, I think it was the same weekend as Ready or Not 2, and was just such a coincidence because it has a really similar, stylistically it's a little bit different, but a very similar sort of plot and logline. This is They Will Kill You, starring Zazie Beetz. So the plot here is that a woman answers a help wanted ad to be a housekeeper in a mysterious New York City high-rise, unaware that she's entering a community that has seen a number of disappearances over the year and may be under the grip of a satanic cult. So this is also a sort of kick-ass action comedy. To my mind, it's a little bit of a just, copy of Kill Bill, and I don't even particularly like Kill Bill that much. That's not really my favorite. That super weightless, hyper-violent action is just not really my style. If you do like that, I think that this is a fairly solid entry. A fun watch. I think Zazie Beetz is great. She's like a great action star. I would love to see her do that more, and she's funny too, which we already knew. And then this too, sort of a similar like great supporting cast of all these people. You have Mahala, Patricia Arquette, Heather Graham, Tom Felton. They're various characters within this mysterious hotel, and action is super stylized, super heightened, definitely Tarantino-esque. So not really my vibe, but if you like that, I think it's a good watch.
You kind of needed a boost up in Zazie Beetz' career because you hated the other 2026 film that she was in.
Right, yeah.
So
yeah, this is at least better than
you're
that.
like, oh, I can't have two duds back to back.
And I love her. I would love her to be in
She's great.
better things.
Yeah. No, this one just looks like Ray or not copy and paste.
So crazy that they came out at the same time. Like it can't have benefited from that. If someone's gonna see
strange coincidence that they got released at the same time. But like when you brought up that supporting cast, I mean, Mahala is a queen, Heather Graham is a queen, Patricia Arquette is a queen, Tom Felton, I mean, sure. He's Malfoy, so can't complain. But no, this is one that I did want to check out as well because I do really like Zazie Beetz. But yeah, again, just got too caught up in other things going on in life, and I missed this one, and I'm extremely bummed that I missed the next one that Veronica is going to talk about.
Yeah, next up I got to see Over Your Dead Body. This is directed by Jorma Taccone. Is that how you say his name? One of the Lonely Island guys. Stars Jason Segel and Samara Weaving as a dysfunctional couple who head to a remote cabin to reconnect, but each has secret intentions to kill the other. So Samara Weaving, here again in an action comedy where her husband is trying to kill her. She's got a type. This was interesting, I'll say. Like I think that it was it worked out to it was a good premise. I think that Jason Segel in particular was just like the perfect match for this role, as like someone who you believe is like bumbling and sad, but also like can get your empathy enough even when he's doing terrible things like plotting to kill his wife. And then Samara Weaving is very like she's just like kind of withering in this. She's like she speaks in her natural accent, which is nice to see for once. And yeah, they make an interesting couple, and it started off stronger for me. But this too goes really like over the top, hyper violent kind of thing, and it has some great gags for sure. It has some other moments that just like land with a thud a little bit, and it kind of is. I wish it had committed a little more to like some genuine tension and being like a little on the scarier side, or just being like a cartoon, like just going nuts with the violence or the comedy or something. So it didn't ride that tone perfectly for me, but to someone else, that's all very subjective. Like to someone else, this might have been like a hoot. So, I got to see this with a Q&A with Jorma afterwards. And he talked about like getting bored with action scenes when it's just hitting, punching, anything like that, and wanting to inject them with some comedy or some character moments. And like that, at least I could definitely see that throughout. Like there was, very few times when like these regular people just turn into action stars. You get to see them like actually like fumble their way through this. And so that's entertaining. So it really has its moments.
Yeah, this is one I really wanted to see because I love the Lonely Island trio. I love pretty much everything that they put out. MacGruber, Popstar, and this was definitely on my radar. And I love Jason Segel. He's one of my favorite working people. I've loved him pretty much since I was a teenager. Like I was a huge How I Met Your Mother fan, and then of course like the career that he had outside of that with the film work, like Forgetting Sarah Marshall, The Muppets, which we've talked about on this pod before, and how much I love that movie and everything. And then of course I love Shrinking. And I like Samara Weaving too, and this film sounded like a very entertaining premise. Plus like Jason Segel is one of those actors that I think could do pretty much anything. Like he could do comedy really well. He does drama beautifully. And to see him in something like this, I'm really excited to check this out when I get the chance. I think it's still playing in my area, so I'm gonna hope to catch it before it leaves the theater. But yeah, this is one that I was really bummed to miss out on. But that's pretty cool that you went to a Q&A for this.
Yeah, it was cool. It was moderated by Mike Birbiglia, who I'm a fan of as well.
Oh, so, he's great too.
Yeah, so that was really cool to see it like that. I think that it's like for all of these pretty much they have a pretty strong like POV at least. They have some style to it, and even
Mm-hmm.
if the story and the characters don't all like hold together, it's a good entertaining time.
Yeah.
And then I checked out. This is streaming on Hulu now. Mike and Nick and Alice. So this is starring Vince Vaughn and James Marsden and Isa Gonzalez. I think that's how you say her name, Isa. And so this one is two gangsters and the woman they love try to survive the most dangerous night of their lives. As if that wasn't enough, there's one wild ingredient added to the mix: a time machine. This one I had fun with for a while. It was fun and clever, and then just got a little bored. Just got a little bit repetitive to me. Again, it is a different experience watching it at home versus in the theater. Maybe it would have been a little bit more engaging if it was, my primary focus. I try best I can to, have a solid at-home viewing experience, but maybe something about that caused me to check out a little bit. But, kind of the same thing. Great cast, has its moments, definitely, like, leans into the, like, has full scenes that are just, like, pulled from a normal comedy, and then action kicks up at different times. So yeah, I gotta say these are all similar reviews here. Like, good watch if you're in the mood for something like that. But not gonna be revolutionary.
Yeah, I didn't really have too much interest in this, despite liking the cast and everything. And this premiered at South by Southwest, and I remember a lot of people walked out of it going, "That was a really fun time, very entertaining." So I'm sure, like you said, it was probably a really fun experience in the theater, but there's some enjoyment to still have at home. Yeah, this is one that I would probably check out down the road. It's not one that I'm in any rush to watch, but I do really like everybody. And again, gotta stress this, even though I have not seen the movie, it is absolutely insane how James Marsden does not age.
True. That's spoiler alert. The time machine doesn't help with that at all. That's just how he is. Okay, and then last up in this category here, we have How to Make a Killing. So it stars Glenn Powell. He plays a character who is disowned at birth by his obscenely wealthy family. The blue-collar Beckett Redfellow will stop at nothing to reclaim his inheritance, no matter how many relatives stand in his way. This one, I think the trailer was really out there for a while. Like, I think that was pretty popular, although I don't know how long it stayed in theaters. I saw this a few months ago at this point. This one, I think, was the most disappointing of this bunch. I love Glenn Powell. I think that, he's had some vehicles that really tap into what he's good at. Like, I think his best performance is in Twisters. Like, I think that that's just a perfect match of actor and character. Like, I just think that totally got everything that he's good at. And since then, it's been a bit of a rough go of it. I haven't really liked a lot of his films more recently, including this. It just was, we get the basic premise. I think you can tell from the trailer. It gets, he hatches some plans. He commits some acts of violence, and it's definitely in that, like, Eat the Rich vein, but it just feels like it's the outline of an Eat the Rich genre flick, and they forgot to add any of the soul to it. Everything just felt a little bit like, I just kept thinking it was frictionless. Like, I just couldn't. None of these people were real people, but they also weren't, like, it wasn't this, like, detached ironic satire either. Like, I feel like it was trying to make us actually root for Glenn Powell's character, and I just wasn't really feeling it. It just he's got so much charisma, but I think when he doesn't have a script behind him that really lets him, like, create a likable, charming character, I just don't think that this worked at all.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. I thought this movie looked not very good from the trailers, and I like Glenn Powell. What really made me sad about the reception for this movie, and it wasn't very positive reception, it wasn't negatively received, but it wasn't as highly positive as I wanted it to be. I loved John Patton Ford's previous film, Emily the Criminal, so much. That was one of my favorite films. That was like an underdog movie of that year for me. And when I heard that he was teaming up with Glenn Powell, I'm like, oh, that's perfect. And when I read the premise, I was like, oh, that's a perfect vehicle for these two. And to hear that it was pretty tame and not very exciting is really disappointing. But also, it's like, I just want to preface this really quickly. Glenn Powell's best performance is not Twisters. It's Hitman, for your information.
Yeah,
but he is great in Twisters.
I think Hitman's the better movie, but I think I like him in Twisters just a little bit better.
All right, fair enough. I'll
He's
stick with
just
that.
so perfect in that. It's just like I can't picture anyone else in that role.
He is, but he honestly is good in everything that he's in. Like, he's one of those actors that has just always knocked it out of the park. I mean, like, when we did our sequels draft a few weeks ago, and I don't remember if it was Meredith or Nick that drafted Top Gun Maverick, and then someone said, like, oh, they've been on the Glenn Powell train since Set It Up. I was going to be like, well, I've been on the Glenn Powell train since Spy Kids 3D. So I knew that he had the sauce.
I don't know if I can claim that. I'm sure I saw him in that, but I don't really know if I sat up as like a 10-year-old and noticed.
He doesn't have that big of a role in that.
Everybody wants some, you can probably claim, but that might be the earliest for me.
That's an all-timer performance, too. But no, it's sad that How to Make a Killin' didn't get the best reception. And Margaret Qualley's in it, and Jessica Henwick, and Topher Grace. It was a really good cast, but yeah, it seemed like a dud on A24's part this year.
Yeah, and I loved Emily the Criminal, too. And that is such a grounded, like, capitalism and the structures here are broken and people are like suffering within them. And this, this also, like I said, seemed like an Eat the Rich movie, like a much more heightened one, but it just has absolutely no like depth to it or anything, and the plotting wasn't all that interesting either to keep me engaged. So yeah, it was a miss for me.
I'm just not a big fan of Eat the Rich movies. Like,
I generally am. Like, I have a lot of tolerance for them. There are a lot that I like, but I feel like this one just like forgot to add the whole rest of the movie. They just thought that concept would be enough.
It seems like this movie didn't really have a bite to it. That's what it seems like from how you're describing it.
No bite and no heart. Like, you can go one way or the other, but you can't have neither.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So with these films, those are my action comedies for the year so far. I rated Ready or Not a 3.5. They Will Kill You, Over Your Dead Body, and Mike and Nick and Alice are all a 3. And I rated How to Make a Killing a 2.
Oof.
All right. Next? You want to move on to one of your movies now?
Yes, let's do it. All right, I'm going to start off with Wasteman. This was a film that I saw back in 2025, but it released limited in late April. So it stars David Johnson and Tom Blythe. We follow Taylor as his hopes for a fresh start post-parolee are jeopardized by cellmate Dee's arrival. As Dee takes Taylor under his wing, a vicious attack tests their bond, forcing Taylor to choose between protecting Dee and his own chances at freedom. This is not anything groundbreaking by any means. It does appear as a conventional prison drama, but there's a lot of visceralness to its direction and a very unique visual style that distinguishes it from the other prison dramas that we got. And the performances by David Johnson and Tom Blythe are the absolute draw of this movie for me and why you should check this out. Now, this is not the only Tom Blythe movie that I'll be talking about today, crazy enough. So we've seen various sides of him, which I think makes him such an exciting talent. And David Johnson, I mean, there's a reason why everybody is hailing him as one of the most talented actors of his generation. I have not watched Industry, unfortunately. I still haven't to this day.
I want to catch up with it.
Yeah, I think we should definitely prioritize that before the next season comes out and everything. And I know he's not on the show anymore, but he got like essentially his start with that. But the fact that he has done a wide variety of work with like Rye Lane and The Long Walk and then this, like he is so heartbreaking in this. He's so good. And Tom Blythe, wow, what a just unbelievable. Oh, and Alien Romulus, of course. I can't forget about how good David Johnson was in that. But yeah, the dynamic between the two of them is very visceral and very difficult to watch, and there's a lot of comedy in the movie as well, but it's so dark. It's a very bleak watch. It's very difficult to stomach, but it's also a pretty timely movie with the current state of how prisoners are treated and the system that goes within that. So I definitely recommend Wasteman, and I mean, I haven't watched it in 8 months, which is crazy that it's been that long, but it's one that as soon as I get the opportunity to see it again, I will check it out, and it's something that I feel like you would really like, Veronica.
I'm sure I would. Yeah, I definitely love David Johnson a lot. I don't think I have seen a Tom Blythe project yet. I know he's been in the Hunger Games. Oh,
that's right. Yeah, you've only seen the first Hunger Games. Yeah.
Yeah, and also in People We Meet on Vacation. I haven't checked out yet. So yeah, I know that he's well liked, but I haven't found him yet. So no, this sounds like definitely a tough watch, but I like a tough watch every now and then. It's usually worth it if it's really well done. So I definitely want to check this out.
Absolutely. All right, am I moving on to my next one?
Well, what was your rating for that one?
Oh, my rating was a 4-star. I was very positive for that. Very positive towards that. All right, next one.
All right. Well, no, I'll move on to my next grouping one.
I'm tired, so please take the reins.
We'll alternate. I gotcha. My next movies I've grouped together, just a few of them. I've called them low-key dramedies. Like I just kind of feel like they all have that similar sort of vibe. So we have Midwinter Break. This was, let me find it here. This was starring Leslie Manville and Kieran Hines. And this is just like a sweet but also like quietly devastating little movie. This is a long-time retired couple, Stella and Jerry, realize that their relationship has reached a crossroads while on holiday in Amsterdam. Don't really have to say much more than that, but there's a lot of dealing with sort of a journey with religion for Leslie Manville's character. Kieran Hines is struggling with a bit of a drinking problem. They've been this long married couple, and it's just this idea of like, how have we gotten here? There's some flashbacks to their past that are pretty effective. And it's like, I don't know, it was just like a nice watch for pretty much all of it. But by the end, I was like, oh my God, this is like quietly so devastating. Like I am so achingly sad by just life happening to these two people and these two actors that I love to watch on screen. And a very like talking through a European city kind of movie. So it's got that going for it. I really enjoyed that one. That was nice. Did you hear anything about that one? I know it kind of like came and went.
Yeah, it just looked kind of mid to me. And I like both of these actors. I really like Leslie Manville in particular, but yeah, it just looked like kind of, I don't mean to put this movie down or anything, but it looked like the kind of movie that like my grandparents would vibe with.
It definitely is, but I'm an old soul sometimes, and I enjoy that.
I enjoy movies that are catered towards that demographic, certainly. But that one it didn't really look super appealing to me, and I heard that it was just fine at best. So, yeah, maybe one night when I'm bored, I'll put it on.
Yeah, it is fine, but sometimes you want a fine but like kind of sad movie.
Yeah,
it's nice. And that one is streaming on Peacock now, so that is easier to find if you want to. And then next up, I saw Fantasy Life. So this one stars Amanda Peet and is, I believe, written, directed, and starring Matthew Scheer, who I wasn't familiar with before. And this one is an anxious New York law school dropout stumbles into a job babysitting his psychiatrist's 3 granddaughters and falls for the girl's mother, who is an actress in a rocky marriage. This one I really enjoyed. So again, similar thing is why I grouped them together. It's kind of like, upper crust white people problems sort of dramedy. But sometimes you're just in the mood for that. And, it's set in New York City, but they also go upstate on a vacation for most of the movie. So it's, it's very pretty. It's got great supporting cast with Alessandro Nivolo is Amanda Peet's husband in this. There are older relatives played by Judd Hirsch, Bob Balaban, Andrea Martin. It's like a really, really fun cast.
I love all these people that you're listing.
Oh yeah, it's all the like best New York-based actors and stuff. So it's that kind of like mumblecore-ish thing, which I have a lot of time for that. Like I enjoy a lot of those movies a lot. So if that sounds good to you, you should probably check it out.
Yeah, this one I do want to see. I like everybody that in this cast. I really like Amanda Peet a lot. She's currently on one of my favorite shows on TV right now, Your Friends and Neighbors. She's very good on that, and she's not an actor that I'm like, oh, I have to see this because Amanda Peet is in it or whatever. But I do like her in practically everything that I've seen her in, so I do want to check that out. And Alessandro Nivola, that's the criminally underrated actor in my opinion.
Yeah.
His performance in The Brutalist has not left my mind since I saw that movie. He was unbelievable in The Brutalist, and he's just a great character actor. He always pops up in things like in 2024, he was in The Brutalist. He was in The Room Next Door, and then in Craven the Hunter. And I'm like, hey, grab that paycheck, dude. Totally fine with that. He's also unbelievable in The Art of Self-Defense.
Oh,
you ever see that movie with Jesse Eisenberg?
No, I don't think so.
It's very good. Very good film. But this one, yeah, I like the mumblecore stuff as well, and yeah, sounds great. Only 90 minutes long. Love to see. Did you see this in the theater, or is it like streaming somewhere?
I saw it in the theater. I think it's available on PVOD now. It's probably, I don't know if you can find it in a theater anymore. This was like a month or two ago.
It definitely did not come to my area, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think it's digital now. I don't know if it'll be, streaming on one of the services anytime soon.
Yeah, that's one I definitely want to get around to watching. Yeah.
And it's very, especially for Amanda Peet, like she plays an actress in it who is like trying to kind of have a bit of a comeback. So it's got that meta quality too, because like, she kind of, I guess it's fair to say she kind of peaked in like the more early 2000s. She had like her bigger roles then and stuff, but she's just sort of quietly been working like since then. So yeah, it's especially if you're a fan of her, I think it's a really
she's been doing a lot of TV the last few years. She hasn't really done a ton of film work. Like, and I'm looking at her filmography right now. She this is her first film in 10 years. The last time she was in a film was Sleeping with Other People back in 2015.
I love that movie.
Yeah, that movie's great. Very good movie.
Yeah, so a great vehicle for her. And yeah, definitely a good one in that genre.
And what did you rate that?
That one, well, let's see. Midwinter Break and Fantasy Life, both I gave a 3.5.
Cool.
And then next up, I had to do it for my girl Rose Byrne. I checked out her movie follow up to her Oscar nom, Tow, Tow. I really don't think this one got a wide release at all. Like it was barely in the theaters. But she plays Amanda Ogle, who is a woman living in her aging Toyota Camry on the streets of Seattle. When her car, which is her only lifeline, is stolen and impounded, Amanda is thrust into a relentless legal battle against an indifferent system. It's based on a true story. You get to see like a glimpse of the actual woman at the end of the film, and so it's it has that sort of based on a true story feeling where you kind of can understand the direction that it's going, that sort of thing. And she's playing like a pretty like big character. She's got she wears almost head to toe pink and like her little pink bandana all the time. She's kind of assertive. She's got addiction issues, but she's works through them to various degrees. This one is the supporting cast also with kind of an odd collection of people. We have Dominic Sessa, your guy, Demi Lovato, Simon Rex, Elsie Fisher, Ariana DeBose. Ariana DeBose is giving an odd performance in this one, and Octavia Spencer.
Very odd trajectory that she's had post her Oscar win.
Yes. And I like her generally. I think she's really, really talented. But yeah, she's made some odd decisions since her Oscar win. So this one, bit like kind of rides that line where like the script is kind of rough. Like there are some lines that just ring totally false. And again, kind of like that based on true story thing. Like I don't know if it was in an effort to like make it more interesting or to not offend real people, something like that. But still, I could watch Rose Byrne do anything, even if it's this like lesser version of If I Had Legs, of her being this stressed out woman like up against this cruel system, and she's just trying to do her best in a bad situation. Like it is really interesting as that sort of follow up. It's just like kind of a much worse version of it. So if you're a fan of Rose Byrne, check it out. Again, it's a low key dramedy. It's like that kind that you could throw on. It's got some heart. It's got some laughs. But nothing all that great.
Yeah. This was another one that, despite my liking for a lot of the actors, I love Rose Byrne. I'm a big fan of her. And yes, Dominic Sessa is my boy. But unfortunately, like, his filmography has been kind of meh to me post Holdovers. Although today, time for corner, we got the trailer for Tony, which looks like a fucking great movie. It looks awesome. I'm very excited to see that. I did want to see this because of Rose Byrne. And also, I really like... I like Octavia Spencer, despite her bad filmography. Yeah. I like Ariana DeBose. Elsie Fisher, really liked them in 8th grade. And Simon Rex, I loved him in Red Rocket. Loved him in Red Rocket, and I've been wanting to see more from him. I like the cast. Maybe I'll give it a watch. It is one that I'm intrigued to check out when I get around to it.
Yeah, that's how I would recommend it. It's you don't have to run out and see it.
Right.
I rated that one a 3, and that is my low key dramedies. So what do you have up next, Brian?
We're back to me. Okay, we're going from something low key to something very loud. Billie Eilish, Hit Me Hard and Soft, live in 3D. So the time of recording, this hasn't officially come out yet, but they did an early access screening for Dolby theaters and 3D theaters last week, and it's coming out wide this weekend and everything. This is not only does it have Billie Eilish in it, she's co-directing it with Oscar winner James Cameron, the king, the pioneer of 3D storytelling, and it's literally just a taping of her Manchester concert from last summer, told in breathtaking 3D. You're immersed in the audience at this concert. Concert films aren't really my thing, admittedly. Like, if I want to watch a concert, I would just like to physically be at the concert. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see Billie when she was on her last tour. It conflicted with other things, so I missed out on the concert. I've been a fan of her for many years. I really like her a lot. This concert film changed my whole perception. Now I'm even more of a fan because now I get to see her perform, even though I'm not physically there. But this 3D experience, you felt like you were there at the concert with her. I love the decisions that they made filmmaking wise by having cameras on stage and cameras from far away. There were even points where she would grab a camera and like move it around as she was performing on stage. It was such an immersive experience. But my favorite thing easily about this particular film, yes, it's a concert film, but it's so much more than that. It really is a love letter to Billie's fans and how her fans mean so much to her and the impact that she has on her fans. I liked that it painted her as this person who clearly doesn't do what she does without her fans. And I thought it was a really beautiful, beautiful experience. There were moments where the concert would be at a halt and then we would get these interviews between her and James Cameron. And I really liked that stuff. And you wouldn't think that James Cameron would be the kind of guy to direct a Billie Eilish concert film. But I love the story of how she explains that he emailed her mom and was like, oh, James Cameron wants to direct your concert. And she's like, what?
Just like, get an email from James Cameron at gmail.com. Like,
yeah, in what world? But it was great. And the thing is, like, I mean, yes, if you're not a fan of Billie Eilish, there's no purpose of you going to watch this. But even if you're just a casual fan for music, it's definitely worth watching. And I highly recommend the 3D. The 3D was unbelievable. It's some of the best 3D that I've watched in years. And to be honest, the only 3D that I will go out to watch is if James Cameron is behind it. Because my eyes can't really handle 3D as well as they did when I was younger. But when Jim Cameron utilizes 3D, he does an incredible job. This was so much better than I thought it was going to be. And I had such a great time with it. I really, really liked this a lot.
Yeah, I also don't prefer 3D as a format, but if that's how Big Jim wants me to see it, then I will certainly try to do that. I think I'm going to see this later this week. I haven't really watched many of like Billie's performances or concerts or anything, but I like her music. I seem to like her, what I've seen in interviews and stuff. So yeah, I definitely want to check this out. It's you would say recommend seeing it in the theater.
Absolutely.
Sure. Yeah.
Absolutely. And go see it in 3D. I saw that they were doing some screens in 2D, and it's just not, if you're going to watch it in 2D, it's not as fun, I don't think.
Cool.
Because like the 3D here is really impressive. Like it's some of the best 3D that I've seen in years. And I gave that, I didn't rate it on Letterboxd, but I'm going to give it a 4. I was a big fan of it. I had a great time with it. I really enjoyed it overall.
Yeah, with a concert film, it's hard to judge sometimes, but yeah.
I mean, the best concert film is Stop Making Sense. That's the best one. That will always be the best one for sure. But hey, this is a good one to add in that list of films.
I really enjoyed the Renaissance one for Beyonce a couple years ago. I
haven't seen that, unfortunately.
All right. Well, yeah, I will be checking that out later this week, and then another one that was, I think, fairly big. I don't know. I think it did all right. I saw You, Me, and Tuscany. This stars Halle Bailey and Regé-Jean Page. And this is, a charming, ridiculous rom-com. When a woman crashes at an empty Italian villa, posing as the owner's fiance, she discovers an unexpected romance that could transform her life. I think that this just kind of like really took a page out of like the history of improbable rom-com film history, and it's just like I can't be mad at it. Did I love my time with it? Like, no, it was, it's cheesy where you would expect it to be. The characters they're not really characters, they're just having fun, but it it follows. I think I said it follows the classic rom-com tradition where like the ingenue is kind of like she's totally delusional and she's also just like a bit mean, like she's like almost a little prickly and like she's coming out of sweet like Haley Bailey. It like almost was like a weird fit sometimes, but it she pulls it off. John Page pulls it off. I think there was some mixed reactions about like if they were good together, if they like had chemistry and stuff. It worked for me. They weren't setting the screen on fire or anything, but and it also has a weird kind of tone where like you're almost not sure if they wanted it to go a little more like kid friendly, a little more just like fantasy romance, almost lean into the, like Disney princess aspect of it, or it's like they do that for most of it, and then there's a few like raunchy jokes and stuff, and not that I like think kids' ears are gonna fall off if they hear a joke that they're not supposed to hear yet, but it just kind of clashed tonally at times. So if it's like a nice summery day or you want to be in a summery mood and pretend you're on vacation in Italy with a gorgeous man or woman, like it's fine to throw on.
Yeah, romance movies are hit or miss for me. This one looks like it was not going to be up my alley, but these are two very beautiful people, and yeah, that's all I have to say.
Yeah, I rated it a 3. It's like it does what it claims to do, which is not much.
Yeah.
All right, next up for you.
We're gonna go from one movie about vacation into another movie about vacation. We're going to talk about people we meet on vacation. This is the second Tom Blythe movie that we're talking about today. It's also co-starring the incredibly beautiful and radiant Emily Bader. Oh my God. Like, wow. What a woman, truly. Like, just so good. I'm loading up the premise as we speak because
I still have not seen her in anything, but I've heard that exact thing before.
Yeah, this was my first thing with her, and yeah, she's great. So the synopsis is: Poppy's a free spirit, Alex loves a plan. After years of summer vacation, these polar opposite pals wonder if they could be a perfect romantic match. So it's literally a movie exploring, can guys and girls be more, can they just be friends, or can they only just be lovers? And listen, it's run of the mill, it's very cliche, it's very predictable, it's very When Harry Met Sally akin, but these characters go on beautiful vacations in really cool places. It's sprawling, it takes place over multiple years. It's fun, it's harmless, it's tongue-in-cheeky, and these two have incredible chemistry with one another. But other than that, it's not anything memorable by any means. It's based on a very popular book by Emily Henry, and it was directed by Brett Hawley. This came out on Netflix, like, literally at the start of the year. And it was cute. It was cute. And as someone who tends to be very critical of rom-coms, like, this surprised me. I thought it was pretty lovely overall, but nothing groundbreaking to the genre. It's very much like, oh, like, the audience that this movie is for, and of course Netflix put it out and everything. But I really loved the chemistry between these two. Again, it was very jarring to see Tom Blythe in this because I had already seen Wasteman at this point, and I'm like, oh my God, he's playing a down-to-earth, lovely dude. And in the last movie I saw, he was screaming terrible things, he was doing terrible actions, he was snorting drugs, and like, here he's the most humble, down-to-earth man ever. And Emily Bader, again, what a woman. Oh, my God. But, yeah, it was cute. It was entertaining. It did its job. I gave it a 3-star.
Nice. Yeah, I definitely heard pretty good things about it. I just didn't get around to it. But now that it's sort of like I need a nice summer vibe kind of thing, now that it's getting warmer, like I think I'll throw it on sometime soon.
Yeah. Also, shout out Molly Shannon and Alan Ruck. They're also in this movie. Yeah. Anytime Alan Ruck is in anything, I get very giddy because that's Cameron Fry. But also Connor Roy.
Of course.
Connor Roy was interested in politics at a young age.
He's also the neighbor in Cheaper by the Dozen, but that's you don't have to talk about that masterpiece right now.
I love that movie. Such a random
I love that movie.
He's also great in Twister.
Yeah.
Great actor.
All right, moving on to my next one. I saw Crime 101. This was directed by Bart Layton, stars Chris Hemsworth, Mark Ruffalo, Halle Berry, Barry Keoghan, Monica Barbaro. This one was like good. Like it's like it's really solid. It's a crime action movie. a dad movie, you might say, like, it's just very, the 101 is apt. It's like not gonna really go above and beyond or blow your mind in any way, but it's got all the tropes and archetypes and beats and everything that you would expect from, a fairly high budget crime action movie. It looks really good, and it was all filmed in LA, which is it kind of an undertaking at this point. But you don't have to reinvent the wheel if you do it well. And I think that this one has great performances, great set pieces, and you really like feel the location, which makes a difference. Did you? I know you were trying to check this one out at some point, but you didn't get to it.
Yeah, I kept trying to check it out, and then the weather was just really bad, and it kept snowing, and I just couldn't see this movie, unfortunately. Yeah, I really wanted to see this. I love a good dad movie. I love all the actors in this movie. I liked Bart Lane's last movie, American Animals, so I really wanted to check this out, and it kind of looked like a Michael Mann light. But then I heard it was good, and I'm like, oh, well, now I have more of a reason to check it out. And I unfortunately didn't get to see this in the theater, but I do plan on watching it now that it's on Amazon Prime to stream.
Yeah, streaming now, so more available. I think a lot of people will probably check it out. It's maybe didn't get the most publicity or anything, but I think it's like I said, it's just super solid if that's what you're looking for.
A lot of Marvel actors in it. A lot of superhero film actors in it.
I was definitely thinking that with Chris Hemsworth and Mark Ruffalo, like, oh, it's his friend from work.
and then there's Halle Berry, and then there's Barry Keoghan.
Yeah.
And then Monica Barbaro's there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a very cool cast. The cast was mainly the reason why I was interested in watching this.
I would say Monica Barbaro, I would imagine that she probably filmed this before her Oscar nomination because she does not get a lot to do. Like, I feel like she would have had a beefier part if like she was already like at the status she is now.
Right.
And I gave that a 3.5.
Yeah, I really wanted to check that out. All right, next up is my turn. I'm going to talk about Mild and Kicks, which is directed by Sharon Levesque. This is her sophomore feature after I Like Movies. And this is also not the only time that Sharon Levesque will be brought up today, which is pretty cool. So this stars Barbie Ferreira as Grace Pine, a 22-year-old music critic who moves to Montreal to write a book based on Alanis Morissette's Jagged Little Pill. But her plans are complicated when she becomes romantically involved with two members of an indie band she is covering and decides to become their publicist. So alongside Barbie Ferreira, we have Devin Boswick and Stanley Simmons as the two people involved in this love triangle with Barbie Ferreira. I liked this movie. I got the chance to see it at the Philadelphia SpringFest. It happened to come out the same weekend as that festival and everything. This was a film that premiered at TIFF when I went there last year, and I missed it at the festival. I would have really loved to have seen, this film set in Canada with a Canadian crowd, but I didn't get around to doing it just because there's only so many movies you could see in such a little time to cram in everything you want to see. But this was a very sweet, endearing coming of age. Again, nothing generational, nothing groundbreaking by any means, but Barbie Ferreira is lights out here. She is such a great lead and presence, and she has this wonderful energy to her that makes me excited to see more from her in front of the camera, because I am very angry of what they did with her on Euphoria. I think that she deserves so much better, and she made the right call by leaving.
With her character, just completely ruined it.
Yeah, it's a disgrace of how they treated her and sidelined her in season 2 when yet she was a very pivotal element of season 1. So that being said, she was really great here, but my MVP of the movie was Devin Boswick. Now, there is something about me that I haven't really admitted to anyone. I am a huge fan of Diary of a Wimpy Kid and Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Roderick Rules. Those were two movies that I loved when I was a kid, and I still love those movies to this day. I rewatched them a while back during the pandemic, and I'm like, yeah, these movies still hold up for me. And Devin Boswick as Roderick, phenomenal all-timer performance, incredible performance. There just isn't anyone out there like him. And the fact that he's playing another musician here, that's awesome. That's so sick. I don't know if Sharon Levesque purposely cast him because of that or if she just really liked him and everything. But yeah, it was cute, it was sweet, it was very funny, very raunchy at times. It went places that I certainly was not expecting. I'm like, oh, well, that's a little much to digest and everything. But hey, I'm all for very raunchy comedy. And there's just these lines that are delivered and conveyed that I thought were really, really funny. And yeah, I'm a fan of this one. I think that a lot of people really loved her debut I Like Movies. So if you like that film, I can't see you not liking this movie either. So I enjoyed this one. I gave it a 3.5.
Nice. Yeah, this is definitely high on my list, and it's it takes place in 2011, I believe, right?
2011. So it's very much like,
Yeah,
it's very weird to be in the time where 2011 feels like it was so long ago that now we're making a period piece set in that time. It reminded me a lot of Dee Dee. That was set in
Yeah.
'08, and I'm like, oh my god, we're like so far off from that time now. It's crazy.
I was gonna say I love a like recent period piece, but when you
Yeah.
think about it, that's 15 years ago, which
No,
is
now we're getting at the
crazy.
point where now we're gonna get recently set period pieces. Like when they make a film about like 2014, that's gonna scare me.
You're only 3 years off here. Yeah, it's coming.
Oh, oh, jeez.
I think the closest was like Uncut Gems was what 2012, but that was only like 6 years after or something. So that was like that's a real recent one. But yeah, I definitely I really like Barbie Ferreira and everything I've seen her in. Yeah, I've seen Chandler Levesque just in like an interview or two talk about this, and I think it seems pretty like not directly, but fairly based on her own experience. Having that sort of job and living in that sort of scene. So yeah, I definitely want to check this out.
Yeah, she definitely, like, when you look at her side by side with Barbie Ferreira in this, it's the resemblance is uncanny. Like she definitely matches like her appearance and everything. So it definitely feels like a bit meta and everything. So yeah, I remember reading that it's kind of like loosely inspired. So I'm interested to read more about that and everything. I really liked this movie, and I really want to see her debut. I still haven't seen I Like Movies, but everybody says that movie's like really, really good, especially for cinephiles and everything.
Yeah, same. I still need to see it too. But I did see her other movie that released this year. I think like the same weekend or so.
Same weekend, yeah.
Right? Yeah. Roommates released on Netflix. This stars Sadie Sandler and Chloe East. So this is it's a Happy Gilmore production, I believe, too. So starring Adam Sandler's daughter. She's pretty good though for a nepo baby, I'll say. In this one, when college freshman Devin asks cool, confident Celeste to be her roommate, a blossoming friendship quickly spirals into a war of passive aggression. So I heard that logline. I really just watched this because of Chandler Levick, and I knew that I wanted to see her other film, and I was like, oh, she's got two at once. Like I probably wouldn't have really gone for it otherwise. It just kind of seemed like Netflix comedy. But this one really surprised me. It's not written by her, but the directorially and everything, you can it's not groundbreaking, but it's definitely like a good like old school comedy, and I really appreciated that it goes in the direction of the, like I said, it's like What About Bob or The Cable Guy or Ingrid Goes West, where there's like this toxic friendship where like one person is genuinely like destroying the other one's life, and like it goes there. Like it doesn't, gets, I wouldn't say dark, but like it gets a little twisted. It gets a little a little bit more fucked up than you might expect, just looking at the poster and the logline and everything. So yeah, the two leads are great. Chloe East I loved her in The Fabelmans. I haven't really seen her in much since then, but she gives a good performance here. And then supporting cast, you've got Sarah Sherman, Natasha Lyonne, and Nick Kroll play her parents. They're really funny. Carol Kane, a bunch of people just pop up here. And yeah, this one was a surprising, really good, slightly raunchy, slightly edgy comedy.
Yeah, the thing that has made me want to check this out is that it was shot in New Jersey. They shot a lot of it at my college. I remember when they were filming this movie and they were like, Adam Sandler is at Montclair State University. And I'm like, of course he comes there when I'm no longer a student there. Like, what the fuck, Adam? Like, that's so messed up. And I heard that Sadie Sandler's character in the movie, in the movie is from Montclair, New Jersey, which is awesome. That's so cool. And I saw images that my college was posting on their socials when the movie came out on Netflix of how they, remodeled certain buildings on campus for the movie, and I'm like, that's just pretty cool that the school was put in a major. I mean, yeah, it's a Netflix movie, but it's a Netflix movie that Adam Sandler is involved in, and that's pretty awesome. He's not in this movie, right? He's just produced it.
Yeah.
Ah, damn. I would have loved to have watched it if he was in it, but that's okay. I like his star. She was very good in Happy Gilmore 2, and I actually I for some reason I don't have this locked, but she was very good in You Were So Not Invited to My Bat Mitzvah.
Bat Mitzvah movie, yeah.
Yeah, she was very good in that. And Chloe East, you brought up The Fabelmans. You didn't see Heretic? She was great in that.
It's been on my list. Yeah, I know she's in that too.
She was very good in that. That was a very good movie. Yeah, it's one that I want to check out, and it's coming of age, and coming of age that's literally my jam.
Yeah.
That's literally my bread and butter, and yeah, I want to check it out. I also saw that Steve Buscemi's in this, which of course makes sense because he's in all these Happy Madison movies.
It's a small part. I wouldn't get your hopes up, but yeah.
Well, I'm reading it. It says that he plays the CEO of Staples. That's hilarious.
Yeah, I mean.
But what can't Steve Buscemi do? He could do anything.
And I gave that a 3.5.
Nice.
It's like bordering on a 4 though. Like I was pretty impressed with it.
Oh, well, now I definitely need to watch that. We're going back to another Netflix movie. We're going to be talking about The Rip. This is good Rip hunting, as I like to call it, because it's a reunion between Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. It's directed by Joe Carnahan, and other people in the cast. We have Sasha Calle, Kyle Chandler, Steven Yeun, and recent Oscar nominee Teyana Taylor. This is literally another, to continue the trend, very run-of-the-mill, nothing groundbreaking, nothing generational. This is a crime thriller. Trust phrase when a team of Miami cops discover millions of cash inside a rundown stash house, calling everyone and everything into question. I saw this movie when it came out on Netflix. I watched it the day it dropped, and I have no recollection of it, quite frankly. It was a very forgettable movie. Yeah. I didn't dislike it. I was entertained enough because, again, this is very much a dad-coded movie. I remember after I watched this, I texted my dad saying that you'll probably like The Rip on Netflix, so you should probably give it a watch. Mm-hmm. And listen, Matt Damon and Ben Affleck working together, that's awesome. Like, I want them to keep making projects together, and the fact that they've been working together since they were kids is awesome. And the fact that they're still working together, I mean, Good Will Hunting came out almost 30 years ago, so the fact that they keep collaborating with one another is awesome. But the movie was very predictable, very paint by the numbers, and there was just nothing necessarily groundbreaking about it. The only things that were groundbreaking about it was that you could tell that Matt Damon was growing out his Odyssey beard, and Ben Affleck had a bunch of tattoos on his back, which were very funny. And also Steven Yeun is in it, and he's the man, and we love him. And also Teyana Taylor, and she's great. The cast is not the problem with the movie. Yeah. The cast was fine, but there was just nothing special about the movie. And unfortunately, the twists that were, alluded to, like, I saw them all coming from a mile away. I would have liked it if this was a lot more unpredictable and had some bite to it, but it was entertaining, but it just wasn't anything special. And I gave that a 3. It kind of teetering on a 2.5, but I gave it a 3 because of how much I love Damon and Affleck together.
Yeah, that was the sense I got. It wasn't really super high up on my watch list. And I have certainly loved Matt Damon and Ben Affleck each in different performances, but I'm not that big a fan where I'm like, I'll see anything they do. Like they can be kind of hit or miss for me too, depending on the project. So yeah, and I mean Teyana, Steven, Kyle Chandler, that all sounds great to me. But yeah, I don't know if this one's really going to be a priority for me.
Yeah, it's nothing that special. You could definitely just, like, if you're bored, shut it on. And plus, if you love Steven Yeun is very hot in the movie, and I'll just say that.
Wonderful. When isn't he?
Exactly.
All right. Speaking of a hot man, Elvis Presley. I mean, I forgot. I saw Epic Elvis Presley in Concert, which was directed by Baz Luhrmann, as sort of a hangover from working on the narrative movie Elvis. He was interested and went into all of these. I think got a lot of never before seen footage that was being stored of Elvis Presley and his performances and his behind the scenes stuff of his rehearsals and things like that. And this is I personally I do like Elvis. He's very big in my family. I definitely grew up like with a lot of his music and sometimes it's his goofy movies and stuff. So he's just been all around as long as I can remember. And this is a really good movie for just understanding like his star power, the way that he can light up a stage, his musicality. This is like all really on display here. Like Baz Luhrmann, and everything is edited so well. It really lingers on the performances, on the crowd shots. Everyone going absolutely insane, and how that was sort of never been seen before. So if you have any interest in Elvis, I would highly recommend. If you don't, obviously, there's not. Again, it is pretty much it's a concert movie. It has elements of documentary too, though, with there's no talking heads or anything, but just with some of the extra footage and behind the scenes stuff. So if you have any interest in Elvis at all, I think that you would really enjoy this.
It gave me vibes of that David Bowie documentary concert thing, the Moon Age Daydream.
I didn't see that, but
ago.
From what I understand, yeah, it seems pretty similar.
Yeah, it gave me vibes of that. I did have a ticket to watch this at TIFF, actually. I was supposed to see this at TIFF, but then things conflicted and I swapped it for a different movie. I don't remember which movie on the top of my head, and then I had a ticket to go watch it when it came out in theaters, but then, of course, like, life happens and I wasn't able to go watch it, and Baz Luhrmann's usually hit or miss for me. When he hits, he really hits, but when he misses, he really misses for me. And this one looked like it was going to be a hit, and everybody seemed to like it, and it seemed like a very interesting companion piece to his Elvis biopic and everything. So, yeah, this is one that I've wanted to check out and everything. And again, like, music, documentary, concert films, again, just aren't really my bread and butter, but this one looked like it had some potential for sure.
Yeah, it's a really well done version of that same thing, and it did sound so great in the theater, but I feel like you could, just crank up the sound at home a little bit, and it would still be a pretty good experience.
Totally.
And I gave that a 4. Like I said, concert docs are a little hard to rate, but considering other concert docs I've seen and stuff, like this was a really well done one.
Mm-hmm. Something that was not super well done. Is it back to me? Is it my turn?
Yep.
Oh,
you're up.
God. I really don't want to talk about this one, but I'll try to be nice. I'll try to be polite. The Super Mario Galaxy movie. We were originally supposed to review this for the pod, and I texted Veronica saying, I don't think that I could sit down and talk about this movie.
You freed me. I didn't have to go see it.
And you should be blessed that I freed you from watching it. This movie sucks. Listen, I know that I'm not the demographic for this. I am perfectly aware of that. I like a good animated film. I like a good family film. I didn't dislike the first Mario movie. I thought it was fine for what it was. It was much better than I anticipated because I was really dreading that movie walking into it, even though I really liked that cast a lot. But I just didn't care about this movie. There were terrible jokes. It was paced so frenetically that it was going way too fast, and I'm like, slow the fuck down, simmer down just a bit. Mario Galaxy movie. Everyone sounded like they were phoning it in, although Jack Black was still great as Bowser. Benny Safdie low-key rocked as Bowser Jr. That was awesome casting, and that was a great performance. But I am tired of Chris Pratt as Mario. I'm tired of Chris Pratt in general. And this movie just literally did nothing. And I really hate that this is the entertainment that kids are going out to watch now, because we reviewed Hoppers earlier this year, and that movie was so good that it was able to cater to both kids and adults, cater to everybody. This movie, yeah, it had some moments that made me laugh, certainly, but there was nothing that made me guffaw. I lightly chuckled at a few moments. And I just dreaded my experience watching this too. I had to deal with a terrible parent not keeping an eye on their child, and it just annoyed the crap out of me. And this movie just does nothing. It's the most nothing burger movie. Yes, it looks pretty. It's very well animated and everything, but that doesn't mean that the movie itself is great. So, yeah, I really did not like this movie at all, and I gave it a 2-star because I felt like 1.5 was way too harsh, but a 2 ultimately was the final rating for me.
I was going to ask how it compares to the first one because I didn't see that either, but it seems like
it pales in comparison to the first. And the first one isn't even that great. I have that rated as a 3-star, but this was a huge step down.
Yeah, doesn't look like a good time.
The first film at least had a lot more coherence to it. This does not. This is so jumbled and all over the place, and there's so much going on, and it's overwhelming to the point where it honestly hurts the movie.
Yeah. Yep, we'll be skipping.
Looks like both Glenn Powell movies that we reviewed on today's episode were not positive from us at all.
He's got to get his shit together. All right, next up, I have seen Slanted. This one, I feel like there were a lot of trailers and everything, but then it kind of like came and went pretty quickly. Plotline here is that an insecure Chinese-American teenager undergoes experimental surgery to appear white, hoping to secure the prom queen title and peer acceptance. I think this one, like I said, from the trailer alone, I think immediately there were comparisons being made to The Substance. I think it's definitely like playing in that sandbox. Tackling more so ideas of race and I mean beauty standards as well. So it's I don't know if it's inspired by it, but it definitely plays on some of those same ideas. And I think that there's some good gags here, and especially like even just establishing the world that we're living in here. It's because it's sort of heightened. Like there's some visual jokes that let you know you're in like this heightened version of American suburbia, and there's some like strong satire to launch you into the premise. I think obviously you can tell from that log line she has a transformation and turns into a white teenager. So like up until there, it's like you can understand the psychology a little bit. You can like there's some strong satire. But then sort of once we're in the premise, I don't think the film really digs much deeper. It plays out, things happen. There are plot machinations and everything, but I just didn't feel like it had anything to say beyond that or any real specificity to it. There's some demonstration of like the Chinese American experience that I can imagine are pretty well realized and everything, but in terms of its message, in terms of its satire, I just don't think it really dug all that deep. And this stars Shirley Chen, and McKenna Grace is then the actress that she transforms into, she's been everywhere. She's very booked and busy, and she's good. Everyone gives a pretty good performance, but just doesn't move beyond that premise too much for me.
It just looked like Mean Girls meets The Substance, and I think they literally said that in the trailer for the movie too. And I was just like, this just looks very strange to me, and not in the good way. But it is one that I was interested in. I thought the premise was kind of unique, and I remember when I saw the trailer for it, I'm like, what exactly is this? Mm-hmm. But I do like McKenna Grace. I like her a lot. I think she's very talented. And what's the other actress's name?
Shirley Chen.
She was in Dee Dee as the sister, and she was really good in that.
Right,
so
that's right,
I definitely want to see more from her. But yeah, this just didn't really seem to do a lot for me. It was coming out in a weird period where there was like a whole bunch of horror movies coming out, and I'm just like, all right, simmer down. Let's settle down with the horror.
I think I saw it because it was the AMC like screen unseen one, the one where you go and you don't know what you're seeing. So yeah, I got to see this. I guess it was probably before it came out that weekend. So yeah, then
I've only done one of those in my entire life.
Done a couple. I usually try beforehand based on the runtime and the rating to figure out what it's going to be.
Yeah, exactly. And then when they said that Nirvana was one of them, I'm like, I have to go to this at least. And that's the only time that I've done it.
Yeah, sometimes you never know. You could get something really good.
Right.
Yeah, so I gave this one a 3. And it's the kind of thing where like I could see one person watching it and being like, that sucked. And I could see one person being like, oh man, that was like really cool and insightful. I just kind of fell somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
All right. And then for you, I know that you have been able to catch a preview of some things that are not out yet, but do you want to shout any of those out right now? I know you can't really give a review or a description, but...
Yeah, I'll be very quick with these. I'll give like very quick thoughts. One of them is Obsession, which I will not go into full detail because we will be reviewing it very soon on the pod because it comes out in just a couple of weeks. I love this movie. It might be my favorite horror film of the last like 3 to 4 years, which is saying a lot. I don't want to overhype it, but it's really that great. Curry Barker directed it. It's his directorial debut, his feature debut. And we've been talking about him a lot in the pod because he has a film coming out with Aaron Paul very soon, and he also just got tapped to direct the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre for A24. So this guy is literally like getting work, and good for him, truly. It's a really great film. I don't want to divulge too much of the plot because I went into it knowing nothing about it, so I'm just going to keep it there and say that it deals with an obsession, and that's all you need to know, and it's great. And I'm not going to say my ratings for any of these films because some of these films we will be reviewing when they come out. What else did I see? I saw Tuner, which we will also be reviewing when that comes out. That was a pretty cool film. Yeah. Pretty cool film. Leah Whannell is the star of it. You also have Dustin Hoffman and Havana Rose Liu, who I love very much. I have such a crush on her, and she's so talented. She's in so many different things right now. Another one to go into knowing as little as possible, but I will just say it deals with a piano tuner, and that's all you need to know. It has a very frenetic vibe to it, kind of like a Whiplash, but then it also like places itself in a unique situation in the genre that it's placing itself in. And Leo Woodall is awesome in this. Like, very good lead in performance from him. And I hadn't really seen him in anything prior. The only thing I had seen him in was White Lotus. And I liked him on that, and I thought he was really, really good in this. And Dustin Hoffman is so absurdly funny in this. Great old veteran man performance from one of the great actors that we've ever been graced with. So that's very good. Keep that on your radar. Leviticus, a neon horror film coming out in June. Again, another movie to go in knowing as little as possible, but it kind of feels a lot of people have been calling it like a queer version of It Follows, which that doesn't really spoil much from it. Pretty good film overall. Honestly, I was really loving it until the last act. The last act kind of boggled it down for me, but it was very good overall. It had very good performances. The main kid in it was the main kid from Bring Her Back from last year, and he was very good. No, not Bring Her Back. Talk to Me, excuse me.
Oh, okay.
Same directors and everything. Not the same director as this, but same directors. You know what I'm saying. So, yeah, Leviticus was very good, very insane, very bleak watch, very difficult to watch the stomach in and everything. I also really loved how it balanced the tenderness with a very supernatural approach and what it was tackling. And again, I can't stress enough the two lead performances. They're from Joe Bird and Stacey Clausen. Fantastic performances. Two of my favorite performances of the year so far. Really enjoyed that. And then I Want Your Sex.
That was highly anticipated for you.
I Want Your Sex was amazing. Incredible. Greg Araki's new film. Olivia Wilde going for broke, delivering just like maybe my favorite performance that she's ever given. And my guy, my boy, Cooper Hoffman, again, delivering just... My Cooper Hoffman stock has just been increasing. I am a proud day one Cooper Hoffman fan. And the people out there who don't like Licorice Pizza, you're not day one Cooper Hoffman fans. I'm just going to say that right now. I'm an LP fan. I loved him in that movie. I love that movie. I've been riding and dying for Cooper Hoffman since that movie came out. So I am a true fan, and you're not. Just want to point that out. Not you, Veronica. Just like the
I like Licorice Pizza.
The people out there that don't like LP. But this movie was so much fun. It was so much fun. It was everything I wanted it to be and more. It has these beautiful, vivid colors that are popping throughout. It ferociously delves into sexual boundaries. And, I mean, when I wrote in my Letterboxd review, Olivia Wilde and Cooper Hoffman are going for broke and knock you off your ass, I don't say that lightly. I mean, they literally knock you off your ass. They're so great in this. And it's also a really great entry point for newcomers of Greg Araki. Admittedly, this is only my second film from him that I've seen. The only other one I watched was Mysterious Skin, and that's like the most bleak movie I've ever seen in my entire life. And this was very fun and exhilarating and exciting. Had really cool twists and turns. Had some really cool... smaller roles from other people like Chase Sue Wonders and Margaret Cho, Daveed Diggs, and Johnny Knoxville. Great supporting performance from him. And Charlie XCX is also in this too. So real, and Mason Gooden. Very good cast. Really good cast. Really liked this a lot. I had a great time with it, and I'm very excited for you to see it. I feel like that this is one that you're going to really vibe with, Veronica.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait for that. That and to see Olivia direct and star in The Invite, too. I'm excited for both of those.
Yeah, it's a good year for Olivia. It's a very good year for her. Very like different sides of her, which I'm really excited for. I hate that we got all these great films at this film festival I went to, but we didn't get the invite. That was like a big like loss in my opinion, because they just played it at some festival in Chicago, and I'm just like, why did they get it? Why can't we get it over here? Soon though, it's coming out very soon.
Know it. Yeah, it's coming. All right, awesome. I have one more solo one. I saw Dreams, which was directed by Michel Franco. It stars Jessica Chastain and Isaac Hernandez, who I think was making his debut here. This is a powerful socialite and a promising ballet dancer begin a dangerous affair. When he secretly crosses the U.S.-Mexico border, she takes desperate measures to protect their future together. This one, definitely, I got to say, influenced by the fact that I got to see it with a Q&A with those three: Michelle Franco, Jessica Chastain, and Isaac Hernandez. I got a picture with Jessica Chastain after. It was very, very nice. She's so wonderful.
She's the sweetest celebrity
she's so
ever.
Nice. Yeah, I got to meet her one other time at the stage door when I saw her on Broadway. And yeah, she just couldn't be sweeter.
Takes her time with everybody. Just can't stress enough how awesome she is.
For sure, yeah. And I love her on screen too. She's one of my favorites. And this one, I didn't include this in the low key dramedies because I feel like this one's a little like colder, a little more dark. And it goes for some things that I'm not sure entirely work, but I like the overall effect of the movie. It kind of just like drops you into situations and relationships with like little explanation, and it avoids some of the bigger confrontations, like they happen off screen and you just kind of like fill in the blanks. And so all that was kind of interesting to me. Kind of varying degrees of success with all of that. And like thematically it's kind of skewering like, the rich liberal type and the damage that they can cause with their either their well-meaning or then when they want to inflict damage, like how quickly that can shift. And it's it's not necessarily novel in any of that stuff, but it's pretty well done. I haven't seen Michel Franco's other movies. I know he just did Memory with Jessica Chastain, I think the year before. So yeah, this was my first experience with their partnership. So it was a kind of twisted, kind of dark, interesting sort of drama.
Yeah, Jessica Chastain is mommy, and she's like the love of my life. I've met Jessica Chastain like 7 times, and she's polite every single time. I just want to, this is going to be a great story. So my first time meeting her, I went to some like event for Scenes from a Marriage in 2022.
My favorite, as you can imagine.
And yeah, seeing both of them in person was very euphoric for me because that's mommy and daddy in the same room, and yeah. But
isn't she going to be in a movie called Other Mommy soon? She's like
she is, and I'm very excited to see that when it comes out. But I met her there, and then I did see her on Broadway in the Doll's House.
Yep.
And I had to wear my mask when I went to the stage door for some odd reason, whatever.
Yep, same. When I saw her, she was very, very sick. She like had, some coughing issues during the performance and stuff. So I was like, it's fine. I'll wear my mask. I just want to.
Yeah, I don't know if she was sick when I saw her. I don't know. They just said, "Can you put on your mask?" And I'm like, okay, whatever. And she like recognized me from when I went to Scenes from a Marriage a year prior, and I'm like, first of all, you can't even see my full face. Second of all, that's just, mother recognizes me. And then I went to the stage door a few more times and I saw her and we chatted and she was so sweet. So kind. I love her very much. Easily the most polite celebrity I think I've ever met in my entire life, bar none.
Oscar Isaac was pretty nice to me too, but
Yeah, he was polite, but I didn't get a picture with him. Mm-hmm. I have like 7 pictures with Jessica Chastain. My time will come to get a picture with Dad. Dad just doesn't want to reunite with his son, but that's okay.
I have a picture with him after I saw him in Hamlet.
I did want to see this. I because of Jessica Chastain and everything. I was playing at a festival last year. I think it was at the Philadelphia Film Festival, but I heard very middling things about it and everything. And I did see their previous collaboration, Memory, at my first TIFF back in 2023. Solid film, nothing special by any means. So I'm sure that, because she really liked working on that film, she wanted to work with the director again. So I would probably check this out because I love Chastain and everything.
Yeah, she's the main draw here, but the movie around it was pretty good, pretty interesting.
Yeah.
And I gave it a 3.5.
Nice.
All right, so now we can move on. We have 4 movies that we have both seen, so we can do a quick, normal review. First of all, The Christophers. How did you feel about that, Brian?
I saw this at TIFF 2025 where it premiered. I didn't like this movie.
No?
No, I really didn't like it at all.
I liked it.
Honestly, for me, I like Soderbergh a lot. I like him. He's a filmmaker that I do really enjoy a lot of his films from. But the recent strain, I haven't really been fully vibing with them. And this one, to me, there was no style to it. It kind of felt like he was just on autopilot directing it. It felt like anyone could have directed this. I don't think he wrote the movie. I think he just directed it. And I will say that Ian McKellen and Michaela Cole fantastic together and separately. They're wonderful in the movie. Obviously, this is not the first time in recent memory that we've talked about Michaela Cole. She just delivered the powerhouse performance in Mother Mary, and she's very good in this, and they're very good together. But I just don't think the movie was as clever and as enticing as it thought it was going to be. And again, like with Steven Soderbergh, yeah, he's tackled literally every single genre known to man. I mean, he's literally done everything. Yeah. Like the fact that he's done comedies and dramas and super small indie films and high budgeted blockbusters, he's done pretty much a little bit of everything. But there is a great film underneath this one, I feel. But it was so underwhelming to me. I wanted so much more from it because the premise was very enticing, but ultimately the movie itself just didn't execute it. So it has the premise of the estranged children of a one famous author as they hire a forger to complete his unfinished work so they could be discovered and sold after his death. Very cool premise, very good premise overall. Very fun premise too. But again, it just felt like anyone could have directed this. So this is kind of a low-tier Soderbergh outing for me. And I just didn't care about it ultimately. I wanted to like it so much more, but it left me feeling very conflicted. And should I give my rating now, or should I let you explain why you said that you liked it?
I liked it, yeah.
What about it made you like it?
So I totally see where you're coming from with the like lack of perspective and the direction and everything. Like this is the kind of movie that could definitely be staged as a play. Like it wouldn't really take much adaptation. It's a lot of just, usually two people having conversations. And so yeah, it's definitely it's not the most cinematic, certainly not that Soderbergh has done. But it worked for me. I loved seeing these two. The fact that I saw this one night and then I saw Mother Mary the next night, and to see Michaela Cole do both and it's kind of like a weird inverse because both of them are about like this one person kind of she's the person sort of observing and dissecting this other artist and has a relationship with them either close or from afar, and but the difference is that in Mother Mary, like she's the one who is doing most of the talking. Like she has a lot of dialogue up front and is doing a lot of the dressing down Mother Mary, kind of like laying it out, telling it how it is. And then in this, Ian McKellen is just fucking on one. He is just like, he's a rambling old man who has, all of this bitterness built up over his career over the years and his family and his life and all of that. And Michaela Cole is just like nearly silent. She can you see everything play out over her face as she takes all that in. And so it's like, it was just so cool to see those two performances back to back for me. And then, yeah, I think that it's again, theme. It's not groundbreaking on anything about the life of an artist and how art is what is it really, like, is it if she can paint the same painting with the same brushes on the same canvas, but like does it have the same soul from the artist that it's supposed to come from? Some of those questions, I think that it was it was interesting enough to keep me compelled, but I can see how it's maybe a little slow. It's a little uninspired visually and everything, but yeah, I was just mostly in for those two performances. I just loved seeing them bounce off of each other.
Maybe it would have gone a star higher for me if James Corden was not in it. I don't like James Corden.
I think he was good. He got to play like an asshole.
He's fine. Yeah, it's definitely probably the most tolerable performance he gave on screen. I actually do like him in Begin Again, but like, I don't like James Corden at all. He just annoys me so much. But Jessica Gunnan, I liked her in this. I haven't watched. She was the one that was on Baby Reindeer, right?
Yes, which I haven't seen.
Yeah, I need to check that out. I need to check that out. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't. I didn't hate the movie. I just wanted to like it a lot more because I really do like Soderbergh. I just felt like it was very run of the mill, and just again, there was not that Soderbergh flair to it. Like it just felt like he just hopped onto this film just because he was bored and wanted to direct something, and there was just not much to this. But Ian McKellen and Michaela Cole were awesome, and they were great.
So yeah, I kind of like the vibe that Soderbergh's going, where he's just like, yeah, I'm just gonna pop off a movie in like a few months, and it doesn't have.
I mean, he's grinding them out very quickly.
Yeah,
and, 2025, like he had 3 very different movies: Presence, Black Bag, and this. Just, I like how eclectic his filmography is, but
Mm-hmm.
you know, I need him to make another winner. His last few movies I just haven't really been into, admittedly. I didn't really love Presence that much. I thought Black Bag was so overrated. I'm so
I
sorry.
liked Presents better than Black Bag. Yeah.
Oh, see, that's something I never hear people
Mm-hmm.
say. Everyone's like, "Oh, Black Bag's better." I liked them both mutually. I mean, to be honest, I didn't really like either of them, and I really didn't like the last Magic Mike movie either.
No, I didn't like that one at all.
So like he needs to bounce back. He
He's had
needs to
he's had
bounce
an
back for me.
interesting like 2020s. There's been some I really liked, and then some that are misses. But he
Yeah,
just keeps trying them. So
Yeah, Kimmy I liked. Let Them
Mhm.
All Talk I
I
liked.
love Let Them All Talk.
No Sudden Move I never saw that one.
That I liked. I was pretty lukewarm on it.
Was the Laundromat? Oh, no, that was 2019. I hated the
That was
Laundromat. That movie
before. Yeah.
sucked. But yeah, I still love Soderbergh, but that one just didn't do a lot for me. So what did you rate that movie?
I gave that one a 3.5.
I gave it a 2.5.
It's
But
probably our.
I think we'll be in agreement
Yeah, I think that's our biggest
with our
discrepancy.
final three. So I'll take over the next one. Next up is Erupcja, which stars Charlie XCX. It's directed by Pete O's. While on vacation in Poland, Bethany breaks away from a romantic itinerary planned by her Dothan boyfriend, fearing that a marriage proposal is imminent. Reunited instead with an old friend, the two women rekindle a uniquely combustible chemistry over the course of a few days in the chaste but burning trust predicted on sapphic synchronicity. God, this premise, why are they writing it like this? And a mutual penchant for poetry.
Awesome alliteration there.
God. What the fuck? Wow, so sophisticated. Oh my god. I saw this at TIFF where it premiered back in 2025. I saw this the morning after it had its world premiere. I went to the press screen at like 8 in the morning. And honestly, this was such a delightful time. I really liked this. I had a really great time with it. This was Charlie XCX's first acting role, I believe, like her first leading role, especially. This was pre The Moment and all these other films that she has herself lined up in. But I really liked it a lot. I thought it was very sincere and simplistic. Nothing groundbreaking by any means, but I really loved the Charlie XCX performance. And this film also kind of felt like a love child of Greta Gerwig and the French New Wave. And despite the fact that it was only 71 minutes, I honestly could have watched more. I was so invested in the dynamic between Bethany and her friend Nell. And I didn't like the boyfriend character. I didn't like him. He kind of reminded me a bit of like he gave me vibes as my brother-in-law was an unlikable human being. I don't know why. He made me think a lot about mainly because of the way he dressed. Very tall and lanky and skinny. He reminded me a lot of my brother-in-law. Scott, I love you. I'm so sorry, man. But yeah, I really liked it a lot. This is one that I've wanted to see again since I saw it the first time. And I know that now it's playing in theaters and everything, but I really liked it overall. I had a very good time with it. And again, I could have watched more of this. Like 71 minutes was just not enough time with these characters. And that wasn't a problem that I had with the movie. I thought it was paced really well, very swiftly, but I would have liked more. That's how much I really liked hanging out with these characters.
Yeah, no, I feel the same way. I think Charlie was great in this. She definitely gives that like the brat sort of vibe in that she's like messy, but it's more emotional rather than like outward. And yeah, I think she totally pulls that off. Yeah, Lena Gora is great as Nell. You like totally buy their relationship, and sort of it does that thing of just kind of dropping you into it and not necessarily understanding what the history is there, but you can just kind of use context clues, and things are revealed and everything. And then yeah, her boyfriend, like visually, he reminded me of George, Charlie's husband. So I'm like, what is she saying about their relationship right now? But yeah, it's interesting. I like to grapple with that, the idea of like, marriage, relationships. Like, does she feel like trapped by that? Is there some sort of inkling for, just to inject chaos just for chaos sake, and the danger and the allure of just kind of blowing up your life in a certain way. And yeah, this is just, and it has that sort of mumblecore feel. And yeah, I think that it was just a really cool, it felt almost like a little experimental, especially with like the short run time. And
very much so.
Yeah. And yeah, so I think that was super cool. I would love to see more from Pete O's going forward now.
Yes, absolutely. I rated that a 3.5. And what did you rate that?
Same for me. Yep.
Sweet. What's next?
All right. Next, we both saw Exit 8. And so this is a, whoops, let me pull it up here. There we go. This is a Japanese film. Believe it's based on a video game. And the premise is that a man is trapped in an endless sterile subway passageway, and you have to set out to find Exit 8 in order to get out. It's a very, like, if I didn't already know, I could tell that it was based on a video game. Like, you can definitely feel that presence in it. And this was just like, I thought it was interesting. It was a little bit like, okay, it's barely a movie. It's like just kind of, it sets up a premise and then it plays it out, and you see it happen. But there are character moments within it. The main character that we're following, he has some drama with his girlfriend and has some internal conflict going on. And then you're essentially just, subject to whatever is going to happen when he walks down the hallway and turns the corner. And so, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I could definitely see someone thinking that this was a bit repetitive or a bit like sort of random, like feeling that there's, not really a sense of momentum or anything. But like for me personally, that didn't bother me. I was into it enough, and it's the runtime is short enough. I didn't think that it like overstayed its welcome or anything. It sets up a few like character perspective shifts that I thought were interesting and kept me engaged. And some of the scares were pretty effective. So yeah, I was mixed positive on this.
Pretty similar to you. I liked the movie, didn't love it. I loved the premise of it. I thought it was a fantastically executed premise and very claustrophobic. It reminds me so much of how much I dread taking the subways in New York City. I hate them. And this station reminded me too much of the Times Square station. Obviously, if you live in or near New York, you know exactly what I'm talking about and how you have to walk sometimes to like the other side of the station to get onto the other train that you're going for. It literally happened to me the other day when I was in New York. I had to walk all the way to the far side of the station to get on the train that I needed to get on, and I dreaded it so much.
You gotta go into the right entrance.
Now, granted, it was during the day where it was packed, so it was totally fine, but like, oh my God. I think this would have worked better as a short than a full-length feature film, but I admired the swings that it took. The one guy that was like smiling and everything, that was like on top of the first character that we were following, was very terrifying, to say the least. But it was a cool film. I just wanted a bit more from it, and I do think that the long runtime, actually it's not very long, it's only 90 minutes long, but I think it would have worked better as a short than a feature film. But I think that the approach they did by kind of focusing on new characters every couple of minutes was really, really smart, and tried to differ itself. And overall, good movie, but not quite as strong as I wanted it to be. But I guess you could say it's one of the stronger video game adaptations that we've gotten.
Yeah, I don't like too many of them, so this one
Resident
counts.
Evil is going to be the best one. I'm just calling it right now.
We hope so.
Oh, I know so. I have faith in Zach. Zachy Poo.
All right, what I gave Exit 8 a 3.5. What about for you?
I also gave it a 3.5. All right.
All right, you want to wrap it up with our last one?
Our last one. Forbidden Fruits, baby. So, Lily Reinhardt stars as Free Eden employee Apple, who secretly runs a witchy femme cult in the basement of a mall store after hours with fellow fruits Cherry and Fig. But when new hire Pumpkin challenges their performative sisterhood, the women are forced to face their own poisons or succumb to a bloody fate. I was so excited for this. Quite frankly, the trailers really entice me, and I like all four women that are leading this film. So not just Lily Reinhardt, but we also have Loa Tun, Victoria Pedretti, and Alexandra Shipp headlining this film. I really liked it overall. I thought it was actually very good. However, I wanted it to be more crazy. I felt like the craziness really didn't kick in until the third act. And while the first two acts were very interesting to watch, I was more compelled when we got to the third act. But then the movie was over, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's it? Oh, okay, whatever. But the cast is so good in this. Lily Reinhardt is awesome in this. She's unbelievable. And honestly, she's had a really impressive career for me post-Riverdale. I don't know if you watched the show Hal and Harper, the Cooper Raiff show.
I loved that show.
Amazing show, an amazing performance, and one that I feel should have gotten some sort of recognition with awards. And I mean, there's still an opportunity for that to happen.
Yeah, I think that would be Emmy eligible now, right? Although I haven't heard much. I don't think it got a lot of attention.
Yeah, I don't see it. Like, if it was on like Apple or Netflix, then maybe there would have been some opportunity. But
movie, stand up.
Yeah, movie, please stand up and embrace.
It did well with the substance, but yeah, I don't know about TV yet.
Exactly. But Lily Reinhart, I would follow her till the end of time. If she wanted me to do the things that are done in this movie, I would do them because she's just so good. And Lola Tan, this was my first thing to see her in. No, I have not watched The Summer I Turned Pretty, so I'm sorry to anyone listening that says, Brian, The Summer I Turned Pretty is a great show. Everyone in my family watches it except for me. I'll get there one day, just not right now. How could I do that when I need to watch certain shows multiple times? Like, I'm sorry. Like, Euphoria, unfortunately, is more of a priority for me right now than The Summer I Turned Pretty. No, I liked the movie. I thought it was a very interesting, like, Mean Girls type of movie with a very cool, like, supernatural vibe to it. Very good comedy. Victoria Pedretti, secret comedic genius. Like, amazing comedic timing. Lola Tum was very good. Alexandra Shipp is always a delightful presence in anything that she's in. Yeah, the twists and turns were cool, but I wanted a bit more bite from this movie. Yet, ultimately, I did enjoy myself watching it. I had a very good time with this. So, how did you feel about this movie?
Yeah, pretty similarly. I think that it definitely made sense when I found out that it was produced by Diablo Cody, because like, even though it's like a pastiche of a lot of different movies, it's definitely Mean Girls in there, definitely like Heathers, but I think it reminded me most of Jennifer's Body with the heightened slang and the goofy but like sincere supernatural elements, and then the female relationships, the sort of like hierarchies that form, and the toxic sort of bonds that in the way that girlfriends can develop with each other, and then the movie and music references. I said that's like a zillennial's dream. Like, if you're on the cusp, like I am, like I feel like that was just, it was very very targeted at me. But yeah, I think that overall it kind of, on a plot level with the characters, it's a bit all over the place, a bit shapeless, and not ultimately a whole lot under the surface. But it was fun. Like, I had a lot of fun. I do agree. I could have had more fun. It could have gone a little more over the top, or a little nastier or something. But yeah, I definitely love all of it. This was also my first time seeing Lola Tung. I do kind of feel like she was maybe the weak link. Like, I could have had some more like commitment from her. But the other three I really love. Victoria Pedretti is my favorite. She's in the Flaniverse. She's in Mike Flanagan's shows.
Of course.
So I've loved her since Hill House. So yeah, I want her to. I haven't really seen her branch out to do this much comedy though. I didn't watch You that she was on.
Yeah, I didn't watch that either.
Yeah, no, that was a big one. So yeah, this is just like a fun, silly, like if I'm having a sleepover or something with a bunch of my friends, like this would be a fun little watch to put on. And I feel like, it's got Halloweenish vibes. Like, it's the kind of thing that I watched it and I was like, okay, like pretty cool. But I could see myself in like, a few months or a year or something, just being like, oh, I want to give that a watch again. Like, it's just a fun time.
Right. Absolutely. I gave that a 3.5. And what did you give that?
Same here. 3.5.
Wow. We literally ended the episode with 3.5. Well, actually, you gave 4 3.5s.
Yep. Oh my God. Yeah. The ratings really, like, I think they average out probably to a 3.5. Like, this was maybe the mid coverage. But like we said, still some good watches in there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so lots of movies, good, bad, and in between. Brian, whether it includes films that we discussed today or not, what is your top 5 of 2026 so far?
Let's pull up that list right now. Let's do that. Okay, the list is as follows. If Letterboxd will load, that'd be great. Thank you very much. Okay, number 5 is going to be 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. I really loved this movie when we reviewed it. This was our first movie review episode that we did, and for some reason it feels like this movie just came out yesterday. I cannot believe that this movie came out earlier this year. It's crazy to me that it's been that long.
It hasn't
even been a full year since 28 Years Later came out either.
Yeah. Yeah, that was early on, and it's still hanging on high on your list. So
still very high on the list. Probably won't stay in the top 5 much longer, certainly, but it's there right now. Number 4 is I Want Your Sex. Again, incredible film, so good. Cannot wait for everyone to see it. Number 3, Obsession. Again, just another film that I'm excited for everyone to see. Number 2, people are shocked that this is not number 1, considering I've seen this movie 5 times. Project Hail Mary. As much as I love Project Hail Mary, and I will be championing that film for the rest of the year, I guarantee that it will stay in my top 5 for the rest of the year. There would just have to be like so many great movies that come out that bump it out in my top 5, but it will be in my top 10 no matter what. I stand by this movie being perfect in every sense of the word. I know that some people are not happy with the way that it brought the book to life. I, on one hand, am very happy. Ryan Gosling delivering maybe the best performance of his career. Just so good. And again, I need to protect Grace and Rocky with my heart. But number 1, the true dynamic of all time, Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie. Masterpiece, incredible film. One of the great theater experiences of my life was seeing this at TIFF last year. And this movie just got better when I revisited it earlier this year. And it just keeps aging very well in my head. And when I'm looking at this list that I have ranked on Letterboxd, the banner is when one of them is pushed off the CN Tower.
Amazing.
All-timer moments. So that's my top 5. What about you? What's your top 5 of the year?
You got two friendship movies at the top there.
I love a good friendship movie.
Mm-hmm. All right, at number 5, I have Hokum for right now. We just did our review on that. I was very high on it. Super excited about everything that Damian McCarthy's doing and Adam Scott in that movie. Number 4, we're going to have a review episode on this upcoming soon. I saw Blue Heron, and that's a really personal coming-of-age movie about a small family drama, but just really well done. Takes some really cool creative risks in it, and I was pretty blown away by it. Number 3, Mother Mary. We had the review for that. I think it improved for me on a second watch. I think that there's a lot to it, and I can understand some of the criticisms of it, but for me it just works, and that soundtrack has been on repeat as well, so that maybe that helps. Number 2, this is where I have Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie. I definitely want to see it again. I think that now that I know like what it is, and I can just sort of like enjoy the jokes and the humor and everything, it could definitely bump up even higher for me. But yeah, that was definitely a good theater experience too. I didn't see it at a festival, but just at in a crowded theater where people were like totally on board. It was so fun. And number 1 for me so far is the drama. I haven't actually gotten to do a rewatch of it yet. I definitely want to do that too. But yeah, we talked about it on our review. I just think that it was like pretty daring. It was entertaining. Had a lot to say. Great movie star performances at the center. I'm so excited that it's done really well at the box office, considering the type of movie that it is. So yeah, I'm thinking that this has been a pretty strong year so far overall.
It has been, and there's so many more movies to come out, so many more movies that we will be reviewing, so stay tuned for that. And with that, that's a wrap on today's episode of Some Like It Real. Thank you all for joining us. If you're interested in following along our journey, you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd at Brian Sutfield.
And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Vero Albarella, and on Letterboxd at Alba_real_A.
And you can follow the show on all socials at Some Like It Real, as well as on YouTube at Some Like It Real. Be sure to subscribe and share it around, and tune in every Monday and Thursday for a new episode of Some Like It Real on podcast platforms.
We'll see you next time.